There we go.
There we go. There we go. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Man, I was jamming at that too.
I'll play it again if you want.
I know. Okay. I'm kind of liking this. I do have to say this. I have to thank Donnie for helping with all the ideas with the show. Because when this fall first came and I was talking to him about it, he's like, "Oh yeah, the paranormal show and tell and blah 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 and this and that." And I'm loving it. I'm loving the show. Just loving the show. And then Paul comes along and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that sounds good." And he's coming up with ideas. And then Randy's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." That's it.
Randy's just like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Let's get this straight. Yeah. Hey, you're doing a show Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing our show Wednesday there. But thank you guys. I do appreciate you and helping this kind of come along. I mean, we have had, some really good shows and we've got really good ideas coming up, talking about things that people just aren't talking about. Maybe sometimes we are, but I mean, for the most part, we've got some stuff coming up that people just aren't talking about. And I don't want these things to be lost. You know what I mean? It's like they're still really unique and great experiences. And, I'm just excited. I'm excited for all the shows.
And it's great to learn new things. This is fun.
Or just old things you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, different parts of the stuff we're looking at, that we like. Case in point, Amityville. It comes back every time. We're like, what did you say again? If it could get us to do that, as much as we've dealt with this kind of stuff, we're like, hey, that's kind of cool.
I know. I know. I mean, again, thanks to Donnie, because he did his research, and it's like, like I said, we always go after the Lutz family when we start talking about it, but we never go after the Defoe family, and that was an eye opener. Just gonna have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And this show is refreshing for me because for my show on Saturdays, I always kind of have to be on and I have to be zany. And guys, it could be a bit exhausting. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
At least at this one, you get a break.
Yeah, I get to be like
you
normal.
can just sit there and be quiet.
I get that. Yeah, I get just be my normal self. So
well, you do get to be on when you're doing Donnie Cho's meme of the week, though.
Yeah.
But that's what.
But that's something he enjoys.
Yeah. Well, it's really because everyone, like, I post them on Facebook and I feel like they don't get enough attention. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start my own podcast and force people to watch them. So that's what it is.
That's the real reason for this.
That's the real reason. Yeah. It's all a roundabout reason.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I want to make an announcement from Blondes and Booze. It is about something that we're doing every month. I think it's starting now. I want to say, Christy, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, but all you have to do is share us out and tag Blondes and Booze in it. And every month we'll be picking a lucky winner to win a Blondes and Booze t-shirt all the way until the end of 2024. So, everybody's got a chance. You can just do it once a day and we'll make sure that we tally you up and make sure we get everything in there. And we're going to throw everybody in the hat and see what happens. So make sure you get out there and you share Blondes and Booze out, tag Blondes and Booze on Facebook. Ta-da, you're in there. Yeah, because everybody wants a t-shirt. I like t-shirts.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I got to get t-shirts. So make sure you share us out. All right. Second thing I want to get out of the way real quick is October 26th and to the wee early hours of the 27th. Blondes and Booze is holding an event at the Ray County Museum in Richmond, Missouri. It's going to be, the afternoon is going to be speakers on cryptids, UFOs, the paranormal. It's going to be a fantastic afternoon. If you would like to just come to that, the tickets are $15 a piece. But if you would like to stay for dinner and for the overnight ghost hunt, you can do it all for $65. So it's a fantastic event, very affordable, should I say, very affordable. Our friend Greg Ogles from Relic Films will be there. Paranormal Paul's going to be there. We're trying to talk Donnie Cho to coming into this mix and coming to this event. We're going to have to keep talking to him because he's undecided. But we also have Paranormal After Dark that will be there, and they will be speaking as well. So it's going to be a fantastic day. So if you need any more information, go to Blondes and Booze on Eventbrite, and it should be the first thing that pops up under our name. So make sure you get your tickets. It's coming quick.
It is. That's a fun place.
It is a fun place.
When we went there last time, it was pretty cool. Really,
right.
A lot of interesting stuff in there too. I mean, minus the paranormal stuff, but a lot of really interesting things in there.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you that probably 95% of that is local to that area in that museum, which is fantastic. They don't have to get things from elsewhere to put in it. There's so much history in the area that they filled a whole museum with it. So fantastic stuff.
Yep.
All right. So you guys, this week we decided that we were going to talk about cryptids that nobody's really talking about. I mean, okay, so yeah, we hear about Bigfoot, we hear about dogmen, and as exciting as those are, there are so many more that people just aren't discussing. And we thought we would, kind of talk about them. And I think this is going to be exciting. Who's going to start? Who has one to start with?
I can go ahead and knock one of these three out.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
I got, which one do you want? I got Bat Squatch, Frogman.
Oh, let's go with Bat Squatch. Hold on. Let's go with Bat Squatch. Bat Squatch.
Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, it gets mentioned every now and again, but what really is Bat Squatch?
So what Bat Squatch is a kind of a combination of a Bigfoot and a bat, hence the name Bat Squatch. So I got some pictures. Obviously, they're not real pictures. They're, drawings, artist rendering or whatever. That one looks more like a bird head, doesn't it?
Well, no, it looks like one of those flying fox heads, the really big ones.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, but it looks scary. I'm just, oh my Lord.
That's a better one. So
that looks like a gargoyle.
Kind of. I don't know.
It certainly does his sit-ups right.
Yeah, he's a stud.
So they're very similar to a Sasquatch, except they have dark silvery fur. Sometimes it's blue, bat-like ears and noses, reddish brown eyes, and they have wings that span up to about 50 feet, and they stand about 9 feet tall. So similar to.
Did you say wings 50 feet?
50 feet? Yep. From tip to tip. Oh my.
Yep.
Honestly, that would kind of make sense actually, because if their bodies are that robust,
it would have to.
The wings would have to be that big. Yeah.
Yeah.
There isn't really a whole lot of history that I found. It really kind of dates back to 1980 when Mount St. Helens erupted. And, that obviously that killed 57 people and scattered debris for hundreds of miles and stuff. And then people started seeing a strange winged creature flying around the volcano. Witnesses kind of described it as a ape-like creature with large leathery wings and glowing red eyes. It's tough to say, leathery. But despite many people witnessing the strange flying, no concrete encounters really came about with this thing.
Oh, well, you like that one even better.
Yeah.
That is kind of a cool one. But let me tell you this.
The wings don't look as big on this one, though.
No, but it's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary. It reminds me of more of the modern vampire movies where he turns into a bat. You know how he has this bigger presence than this little, bat flying around. That reminds me of what that is.
Yeah.
So we have no reports of it being seen or we're not?
One that I was able to find. In 1994, a man named Brian Canefield was driving home one night in a small populated area of Pierce County in Washington. He reported that his car suddenly shut off in the road that he was traveling on. He said that he tried to restart the engine several times, but nothing would ever happen, wouldn't turn over. He was about to get out and look under the hood of the truck when he noticed something swoop across his headlights. Thinking it was only a bird, he started to get out of his truck, which was probably not a good thing to do.
No.
Then he saw a large Bat Squatch landed on the roof of his truck. Canefield said that the creature stood about 9 feet tall and had a bat-like face and wings that were attached to a blue furred humanoid body. He claimed that the creature just stood there and stared at him for a while, spreading his wings, which he said stretched the entire width of the road, and then he flew away, kind of looking back at him as he was flying away. After he flew away, Canefield tried to start the engine, tried to start the truck up, and it started right off. So needless to say, he got the hell out of Dodge. Many other people have reported seeing creatures like this flying around or out of mountains. There's a good one with that Mount St. Helens in the background. But nothing has been reported like the Canefield encounter. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would have named this Bat Squatch. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because these
It's the
pictures
Bat
that I'm
Frogman.
seeing, these artist renditions, are not looking like a Sasquatch at all.
No.
It's the Bat
I found a
Dogman.
pretty good rendition. Let me post it up here. Hold on. This is actually from a video game.
Ooh.
Well, now that
Yeah.
looks well. Ew.
Looks more of a humanoid face
Yeah.
than a bat.
This is actually from a Batman Arkham Knight. This is a Batman enemy. He's called Man Bat. Chris, get it? Batman, Man Bat.
Bat Squatch. You know,
Yeah.
we're right along the same line with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, they can't call it Batman because that name's already taken. So
That's yeah, and I still don't have my red phone. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't know.
Call
I don't know if. Okay, so does anybody have a picture of Mothman by any chance?
I can get one.
See if we can
we
find
can
one.
do one.
Because I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
how do we know that's not Mothman?
right. That
Right.
maybe again that we're talking about misidentification. Maybe it was something else.
Similar MO showing up at the site of major disasters.
Right.
Right.
And if it's around a volcano, you know,
It's loading up.
I don't know. I mean, it's just to me, it seems like a little bit similar to.
Oh, that's not a good one.
Well, then again, that's probably all you're going to see in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's how PNGs show up. Oh, that's cool. I can
Yeah,
check
because
it.
you got
out.
you
No,
got
it had
a
transparent. I guess transparency.
transparent background.
Oh, okay, cool.
It is kind of cool, though.
I like that.
Nah, I ain't doing it.
You know, I mean,
What?
but what do you guys think? Do you think that this could be Mothman? Could this be something else altogether? I mean, because Bat Squatch doesn't really, it's not resonating with me. I mean, in something.
Now, see, this Mothman looks more like a fly's head. Fly's head.
It does.
Yeah. And supposedly, well, these all have hands. Another thing that I read, and I couldn't find a picture on this, that the pinkies on each of the hands were connected to the wings, but I couldn't find a picture of that.
I'm
So
wondering if
it would be like almost like an actual bat.
it's a Mothman, but it's seen in a different light, right? Like the other images of Mothman we see look more like a silhouette with those big bulbous red eyes. But what if the reason why it's drawn that way is because the way people describe it, those witnesses, they saw the creature in not the best light, right? They just see the silhouette, they see the glowing red eyes. Of course, they're going to pop out because in the dark, those red eyes are going to stick out like a sore thumbs. But when they're in a different sort of light where they can actually make out details of the bodies, the texture of the skin and everything, then maybe it does look more like a bat squatch. And so maybe, I don't know, I'm wondering if it's the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm thinking John's may have it right there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they do have those giant bats. Where are they located?
Australia, mainly.
Okay. So yeah, they do have those.
They're the flying foxes is what they are.
But they're not that big. But then again, you know, we know how stories go that sometimes they get embellished to the point where they're no longer true. I mean, we've talked about that before.
Right.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think this one's like for real? I mean, I
don't know.
We've got one account that we can read about.
Yeah.
One. We have no pictures, no video, we have absolutely no evidence that this thing exists.
No. Right.
Nope.
And granted, a lot of these were in the early 90s or late 80s that, I mean, you didn't have cameras handy.
True. And we've had nothing since then, just nothing.
Let's see here.
I think this may be one of those ones that it's more folklore than it is truth.
Yeah.
Much like what I believe as far as Mothman too. So I still believe it was a big barred owl. Sorry.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things. But I'm just saying that I think this Bat Squatch is going to fall into the folklore kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not to say that there aren't cryptid encounters of bat-like creatures or winged creatures. I mean, even Rob's got a few in his book. I think they're out there. People are definitely seeing something kind of freaky, big and winged. Of course, there's definitely going to be a lot of misidentified stuff. My own personal theory is that Mothman and things like Bat Squatch, they're more like tulpas. The fact that they show up around disaster sites is what's really telling me.
Kind of like a golem almost.
Yeah, like a psychic manifestation of something.
Yep.
But that's what
I think you're onto something.
It's the disaster thing that really does it for me, right? Like when Paul mentioned that they were spotted at Mount St. Helens, and then you had the Mothman in West Virginia being spotted right before that bridge collapsed.
Yeah,
and then in Chicago we've got Mothman sightings because I don't know what kind of disasters happen. Well, plenty of disasters happen in Chicago, but
I was about to say may not be the natural kind, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one, Paul. I think I'm gonna leave that one to. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it to that. I it may be misidentified, but the way that the artists have done that, and the way what you read and its description, it may be just being misidentified, and they just had to think of another name. You know what I mean?
It sounds scarier than just calling it a big, huge bat.
Yeah, like
I mean, it is from northern Washington, so I mean that's Sasquatch country up there. So
yeah. Like you said, but a 50-foot wingspan, and they fold. We already know they're going to fold up. And you would think if they're any kind of a bat, that's actually part of their arm and fingers as well, Yeah. So if they were any kind of weight at all, they're going to need monstrous lift.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
but a 50-foot wingspan will do it.
Oh yeah, how would nobody would ever see that in the first place?
Look at how
Well, they probably have like really hollow bones.
Yeah.
I bet you we could beat it up in a fight.
Hit it one time. Listen to the bones crack.
I think we could take it, guys.
Okay, Dottie, I'll let you go first.
See, I want to try to take on a
Dottie.
Bigfoot because those things are, strong. But if you think about a thing that's physically designed to fly, then obviously its bones have to be not as dense.
Yeah.
And usually flying creatures have hollow bones. And if you ever fight something with hollow bones, I think we could win, guys. That's all I got to say. My money's on me.
And it really doesn't have hands if they
doesn't
connect to the
it
wings.
doesn't have
Yeah,
hands.
it's
It
like
can't do a
that.
punch.
I mean, that last thing, yeah, I could see that because it doesn't really have hands. It's got to swing those wings around to get you, and that's a whole lot of wing. You know what I mean? It's not like they can move those like super quick. I mean,
I don't consider myself like a very strong guy or a tough guy or anything, but I bet I can knock it out in one punch.
If we would come across this thing, I'm going the other way. I mean,
well, yeah, and that thing looks like it's made for gliding.
Yeah, well, that thing doesn't even look like it can fly because it's so like jacked and its wings are so small.
That's what I mean. It looks like it could glide, perhaps, but I don't.
That's just Dogman with a cape at that point. Yeah.
And I don't have to run fast. I just have to run faster than you.
You could probably run faster than me at this point.
Well, that's good.
All I gotta do is trip one of you. That's all. Yeah. That's all I gotta do is trip one of you, and I'm good.
Note to self: run the opposite direction. That'll be going towards it. Then never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay out of my way is basically what it says.
You bluff charging. You bluff charging.
Right. Because I could get ready to fight, then you're like, nah, I'm gonna run. Maybe throw some dirt in his eyes or something.
Just thought of a movie run. Ah! Oh,
what is that? The baby running down the hall and it gets to the end of the hall and whoa, and then turns around. That'll be me.
Oh, that one gift.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I guess that look. I was like,
right.
This is a bad idea.
All right, so we're just gonna leave that to I don't know. I mean, it's a good story. I mean, the Bat Squatch. How can it not be a good story? But I don't know if I'm on board with it being a legit cryptid.
Right.
Yeah,
I think it is a cryptid, but I think it's Mothman.
Okay.
Seen in a different light.
We had the discussion about Mothman. If we didn't know if that was a cryptid or not a cryptid, so we're still up in the air about that too.
Yeah. So maybe that is if Mothman and Bigfoot got together one night.
Oh,
ew!
Thanks, Paul. Ew.
Oh, don't make me go there, Paul. Ew. Don't make me go there. You know how I be. You know how I be.
Maybe that would be for a Saturday night show.
Yeah, that might be a Saturday night show.
Yeah.
That may be a Dottie show. I'm just saying.
There's your topic for Saturday night.
And I'll analyze that seriously too.
Well,
get all intellectual about it.
Yeah, Dottie, make sure you do your own drawings to figure out what it would look like. That would be pretty good.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, Lord.
That's
okay.
I can say with that.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one, Paul, because I know you had 3.
Okay. Let's do the Megalodon.
I like
this
that.
one is actually scientifically proven to be real.
Yeah.
At least back when it was around.
Well, we knew that
we have it on the fossil record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We knew that it existed, but does it exist today?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wait a second.
Look at that.
I think me and Brandy had a fight over this kind of thing too when I started talking about thylacines one time.
Yeah, right.
Uh-oh.
Right. But look at that woman. Put that picture back up.
Oh yeah.
That's not even a snack.
Not one bit.
There's also one on here where it has a full length Megalodon and a human standing next to it. Obviously, drawing. So
that's not a snack. No. That's
a toothpick.
A nibble. It's a nibble.
Appetizer.
She actually
Yeah,
looks like a newscaster from St. Louis here.
Might be.
possibly.
Has she
Yeah.
just appeared lately?
I haven't
Well, you
seen her in
got
a long
another
time.
picture?
Oh yeah. I got a few more. So,
That looks like a nibble. That's not even a snack. That's a nibble. Oh,
Isn't a great white. Yeah, I've seen
Mhm.
this one.
So
Yeah.
they live about 28 million to 1.5 million years ago on Earth.
So they were as
Mhm.
close as 1.5 million years ago now.
Yeah.
The last time I heard, I thought it was like 3 or 4 or whatever. But either way,
That's still fairly close.
1.5 million.
I mean, it could be.
That's
Yeah,
relatively close.
Relatively close.
some of the things that I read was like 20 to 2 million years ago. So I mean, I guess they really researchers really can't pinpoint it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they were in
yeah.
the ocean, the bones may not have degraded the same way as bones on land would have in the fossil record.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was estimated that the shark was up to 50 to 60 feet in length and weighed about 60 to 70 tons.
good gosh.
And it would eat prehistoric whales and giant sea turtles. Here's a comparison.
What was a giant sea turtle?
Yeah.
Giant. What's a giant sea? We can look that up. What's a giant sea turtle? Because I got to know what that is.
So it said on the stuff that I found that it was a coastal hunter similar to the great white, meaning that it would stay close to the shore and hunt for its food.
Okay.
And since the climate is much warmer back then, it could have lived in any ocean on Earth back then. It's extremely unlikely that the shark is still around today, since researchers believe that the Megalodon was a coastal hunter. Can't talk tonight. There would be plenty of evidence if it was still around, but there is little to none right now. But since the ocean is very vast and largely unexplored, anything could be out there. So I mean, it could have evolved into something different and could stay in the bottom of the ocean more and hunt for food. So, but it highly unlikely that it is around today.
Well, as far as they know.
Yeah.
I think Jason Statham might have something to say about that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, there have been instances where encounters where people have had with giant shark-like creatures that have been reported.
Yeah.
Most famous example is the black demon. I'm sure we've all heard about that. It's one, by the way, coolest name for a cryptid, by the way. The black demon.
Black demon.
Yeah. Which is a shark spotted around the Baja Peninsula. There have been sightings going back all the way to like the 1600s, and it was described as like a megalodon, except all black. And the one common denominator in all those encounter stories was that its dorsal fin was like 6 feet.
Well,
it would like
yeah. Well, these artist renderings that we're seeing right now, obviously, they're taking the look of the great white, because they're kind of predisposed. A large shark, they're predisposed to see a great white, so they're kind of coloring it the same way. They don't. There's no way they know what it was. Obviously,
right?
It could have easily been darker. It could have been like the Makos, which get dark.
And they said a lot of the renderings, like you said, they took from the great whites. Since that's what we have now.
Yeah.
But it could have been. Hang on. Some say it could be other prehistoric sharks, which would give it no living relatives. Currently, researchers believe it belongs with the Adidas, which is another extinct lineage of prehistoric sharks. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, as I always said, that we don't know what's in that ocean.
Exactly.
We haven't explored even I don't even know what the percentage is, but it's very small of what's in the ocean.
Right.
I would think it's under 10%.
Yeah, JoJo said
Yeah.
something about 15%. I don't think it's that high, but but either way, it's definitely 15 or below for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of all the trenches and everything that are down in there that we as people, humans, can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to the moon, but we can't go in the ocean, which is beyond me. But we're not going to go into that. But that's why I also thought about aliens and things like that, in them being in the ocean, being under the water in the oceans, because what better place to be? We can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
mean, you couldn't pay me enough to go under the water to find any of that stuff anyway. I was in the Army. I'm not in the Navy. I'm never going to be a submariner. Forget it. It's not happening.
No way.
Not especially at that Titanic trip last year. Or earlier this year, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that was bad. Jason and I did a whole podcast on that incident.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, that my friends just got back from the Alaskan cruise, and they also hit an iceberg. Didn't damage the boat, but they also hit one. Yeah, they made the news and everything. Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah.
Wow.
So, but we've got to remember that the oceans are getting warmer. This is what's happening to our planet. We're warming up, and I'm wondering if perhaps the Megalodon doesn't have to stay as close as it used to, because the waters are warming. The fish are spreading out. And so I'm wondering if that could be what's in play here, why we don't see them as much. And I don't know if anybody else has saw these, but I've seen some really weird videos of fish and things like that in the sea, that they are adapted to living in deep water.
Yeah.
It's like they're they're translucent, or like the angler fish and the little light thing, and the I mean, we have got all kinds of stuff out there that we have no idea how it's surviving that deep, but it is. So maybe that's where they went to.
Look at sperm whales. Sperm whales and whale sharks. They both died so deep that our submersibles can't keep up with them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, whales. Yeah. Whales go pretty deep. JoJo's asking, what's the size comparison between a megalodon versus a humpback whale? I wonder.
JoJo, I am so glad you asked that.
He's got a picture. Woo. That's a blue, though. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a blue whale.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they say humpback whales are about 60 feet.
Which is
so roughly around the size of a megalodon, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a human is a bath toy.
Yeah. It's a floss.
The floaty. You got a floaty in the water.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's about all you got. A food floaty, a crumb, because that's all it is. We're just a crumb.
Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to what the megalodon actually looked like, because I am a bit of a paleontology fan. Not an expert or anything, but I'm a fan. Like, I'll watch like random YouTube videos and stuff. And there was like this whole thing where, paleontologists are now, they're starting to think, or a lot of them believe, that Megalodon didn't look like a blown up version of a great white shark. We just use the great white shark's image because that's the closest facsimile we can think of, right? But now they're starting to now think that because their teeth structure was actually quite different, they think that Megalodon probably had like flatter faces than great whites. Of course, bigger. But the thing is, it's so hard to tell what they actually look like, because we only have teeth. Because think of it, it's a shark. It's all cartilage, right? So the only thing that's going to remain is it's going to be vertebrae and teeth, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. So that's all we have to go on.
Yeah.
Shark Squatch.
Yeah, I was about to ask him, do they have an actual one of those that we can follow and figure out about?
I mean, if it does have a flatter face, we could be dealing with Shark Squatch.
There you go.
Possibly. Do I think these sharks could exist? Absolutely. Like I said, there are things that we have no idea that are existing.
Right.
We're just scratching the surface on what's under the water. I think it's possible.
I wouldn't
Right.
say there's a 0% chance that it is. So I agree with you that,
Mhm.
you know.
I
you
mean,
just don't know.
could this be like a great white that has just grown oversized, perhaps? Maybe?
Well,
Could it,
I mean,
could it be something like that?
it's still a case in point. It's only been the last 15, 20 years that we got an actual live specimen to show up of the giant squid.
Right.
And they knew it would existed, but they just had never actually seen one
Never
until
actually.
they videoed the one down deep that took a bait. I remember that. And then that next year, I think it was one just as it was dying, surfaced up right next to a
Right.
Japanese trawler.
Right. And they had been talking about these giant squid in folklore and everything else for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Exactly. Kraken, like we're talking about Kraken.
Well, they would have like giant tentacles occasionally wash up on beaches and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was
They never
always in
had one
people's
that-
minds. Yeah.
It was always
That
there,
we-
but they never had a full body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you talk about the difference between the giant squid and then you got the other one, the colossal squid,
Yeah.
which has got a completely different style tentacle, which that's the ones that the sperm whales really kind of go after, because you can see the marks on the sperm whales from, instead of the suction cups and stuff, the grabbers like a giant squid has, the
Yeah.
colossal has hooks that like a claw almost that it grabs with. And they're almost as big as the giant.
Right.
You think they're messing with Megalodon though?
They might.
Exactly.
like,
I mean, 'cause
hell
if you're
no.
talking about Megalodon at 60 feet and these things at body length of 15 to 20 feet, and then your tentacles on top of it.
You got to remember that a Megalodon would be a biter, and then the squid would be a grappler. You know what I'm saying?
I think Megalodon will be chowing down on that like seafood linguine.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's
I guess
it.
that's depending
Yeah,
on that.
alright.
Yeah, that's.
I think
that
Megalodon
depends
just comes
on how they
along and is
met.
like, that's a
That's
snack
the next
right there.
throwdown then. Giant / colossal squid versus Megalodon. That's the
Okay,
next
well then
throwdown.
there's another Donnie Cho show right there.
Exactly.
I think Jason Statham did a movie on that, didn't he?
That's why I said Jason Statham will
Yeah.
be mad about the Megalodon.
Wasn't there a scene with Megalodon fighting a giant squid in like the
I
second
don't
one?
even remember.
I gotta
don't
watch
remember.
it. I don't know.
No, we
You think
gotta
I paid a
find
whole
out.
lot of attention to that?
I don't know. I mean, like to me, I mean, again, is it Megalodon or just something that has just grown? Is this grown? I mean, because think about this. I mean, look what's happening with dogs when we're breeding them a certain way. We can breed them to be smaller, and we can breed them to be bigger. And then what if we had an oops like that in the ocean? I mean, whoa.
I'm not going to try and breed no Megalodons. Okay, that's just not going to happen.
Well, I'm not saying that we did, but if they got if they had some relation, if they had some relations which in return bred larger sharks, I mean, are we saying that these are Megalodons or these are just overgrown? You have to excuse Randy. We do this quite often. He can't be serious. It's like the word moist. It's like the word moist.
Oh,
it's not the show I'm supposed to be serious on.
like moist.
Every time he hears it, he laughs.
I'm telling you, I just got that picture of a just little bitty gray white for so long. Here comes Megalodon over the top of him. Hey boy, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? I mean,
oh man,
I don't know. I mean, like we're sitting here talking about a prehistoric shark that may or may not still exist, but you got to come up with a theory. I mean, what's that one that you were talking about, Donnie? The what's the demon? I'm sorry,
The Black Demon.
The Black Demon.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're sitting here talking about this shark now. And black, I mean, I have not seen myself a black shark. I've not seen a black shark. Is it supposed to be like just like a dark gray, or is this thing black shark?
Well, that's okay. So here's the thing. The one thing that they described it, they said that it had a whip-like tail. That's not something a gray white would have.
No.
Right.
No.
But then again, we don't know what Megalodon's tail actually looked like.
Yeah.
No.
We
You've
have
got
no
whiptail
clue.
sharks.
Right.
And you've got whiptail sharks too. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is not unheard of in the shark world.
Right.
And makos, like I said, makos get relatively dark. And you got basking sharks that are, I know they're not an active meat eater, but they're as dark as they get. And you also got the Greenland shark, which is dark.
Yeah, and I also heard some scientists suggest that they think that the Megalodon might actually be more closely related to mako sharks than great whites.
Well, yeah,
in the branch of like taxonomy and everything.
I can see that with depending on how aggressive they might have been, because makos are relatively aggressive.
They are aggressive.
Yeah,
I don't want to find out.
Can I briefly bring up? People talk about Megalodon because it's like the craziest thing that ever swam the ocean.
Sure.
But at the same time, it had a competitor who gave it its run for its money. It was alive at the same time, competed for the same food, occupied the same like ecological niche, and they occupied similar areas. And that is the Leviathan whale. This was a bad boy. And this thing competed directly with Megalodon. Yeah. Most likely they would fight each other. This is we've actually found its skull.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at the teeth on that.
Yeah. That's Megalodon's
that's not normal whale teeth.
So. Nah.
How big is that one?
Close. Well, about the same. They think the estimates are similar, like 60-ish feet. Mm-hmm. Scientists believe they might have had different hunting strategies. Whereas, because one's a shark, one's a whale. They're going to do different things.
Yeah.
But man, could you imagine those two things swimming into water at the same oceans at the same time?
Well, and like the picture you brought up right there too. There's another situation of the artist rendering. Taking what we have already here. Yeah. Taking what we already have, because that looks like a sperm whale on steroids.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, we do have more of the Leviathan because they actually found its skull.
Yeah, and I believe in bones, Peru. I imagine. I would imagine they have some vertebrae.
Yeah, they have actual bones. Like sharks, they don't fossilize like that because they don't.
No,
they're all
they don't have any bones. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're fairly certain it was a relative of the sperm whale. In fact, these teeth are basically just giant sperm whale teeth. The way sperm whales' teeth are.
Yeah.
It's similar in like the design, but they're smaller, but they only occupy the lower jaw. Sperm whales, they don't have teeth on their upper jaw.
Yeah,
just the lower
it's just
part.
it's for grabbing the squid and holding on to them.
This thing was just a sperm whale on steroids.
Wow.
Yeah, that could have an attitude for real.
Yeah, we don't.
And it had to compete directly with Megalodon, like directly.
Yeah. My goodness.
What was the time frame for this one? Up to about 2 million years ago, too?
Pleistocene, yeah. Miocene epoch to the Pleistocene around the same time.
So then you talk about those two going against each other. I mean,
yep. Could you imagine what that looked like?
That would be a good movie.
If these two creatures lived, I'm just saying, if they live past what we're talking about right now, quite frankly, there's the basis for Moby Dick from Melville too. Honestly, when you think about that,
well,
other than it being a white whale, don't get me wrong, other than being a white whale in the book, the rumors or the legends of those whales to those guys at that time, and Melville went around the world as a sailor and a whaler at one time, so it just something out there added to the folklore, I should say, and to the legend.
Well, I mean, we got to understand this too. If these whales were true to whale behavior today, they travel in pods.
Yeah.
So that would mean there would be more attacking. I mean, they would have more there so they could take down bigger prey. You know what I'm saying? So would a Megalodon stand a chance against a pod of these things?
I know a great white don't stand a chance against a killer whale.
Well, yeah, they travel in their little pods too. So
Do
But I don't
sharks
know if
travel in
sperm whales
pods?
really travel in pods. So
Nah, they just kind of all gather where food is. Really,
Do their own thing.
they coexist.
No, I mean some sharks are group hunters, like blue sharks, and
yeah.
yeah.
And go into the feeding frenzies and such
Yeah.
like
Well,
that. But
yeah, I
That's
mean,
more like, I don't even know if that's more like the same setup as like a whale pod, though. I think they just
No.
kind of group up like that just cause.
because
yeah,
it's
I
all
think
there.
the whale
You know,
pod is more
it's
family
more-
related.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they devise plans of attack. They literally
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you ever see the that one clip where it was like that one giant school of fish? You know how they turn into those huge balls and it becomes a feeding frenzy?
Mhm.
Yep.
And they actually have dolphins and sharks kind of teaming up together and working in tandem and using teamwork. I thought that was one of the coolest nature videos I ever seen.
Dolphins and
help
sharks?
round them up.
They were like working. They were like actually working together.
Really?
The dolphins
Yeah.
were. I saw that, and the dolphins were working them into the ball, and then
Yeah.
as they come through, start hitting. Here come the sharks up from beneath
Yeah.
to push them further up.
So it was
So
like the dolphins. Yeah, they were like helping each other. They were like teaming up. They're
they
like, we're
didn't
going to
know
put
they
our
were helping
differences
each other.
aside.
But they were.
Yeah.
I thought dolphins and sharks were just natural enemies.
Until
No.
there's a big school of fish where they're all like, you know what? We were more
Food.
interested in that. Yeah.
Right. Well, when I lived in Florida, and if dolphins were in the area, there were no sharks at all.
Yeah, they rarely were around. Bull
That's
sharks don't
because
even stick around.
you would think
That's
that
weird. That's odd.
you would think that dolphins would be scared of sharks and swim off.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
No, the sharks are scared of them.
Yeah.
Sharks are scared of the dolphins because evidently with the amount of pressure and as fast as a dolphin can swim, they were talking about, now correct me if I'm wrong because I may be wrong here, but they could actually blow a hole right in the side of a shark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't you ever watch Flipper?
Flipper.
Well, it's
Randy.
true. Actually, the actual old TV show showed Flipper actually hitting sharks in the gill and then
Yeah.
the side,
Yeah.
torpedoing into them and incapacitating them to save his buddy or friend or whatever the case might be. But either way,
Well, it is true. They do that.
Yeah.
So again, you're talking about dolphins that travel they also travel in a family unit.
Mhm.
So, I mean, does it mean more like if you just like travel in like a kind of like a pack type of ordeal, where you hunt together, but you don't care about each other, but then you have the family pods and things that hunt and live together, and I mean, does that make a difference in their survival?
I think it does. I really do.
I would think so. I mean, I would protect my family more than perfect strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever there was dolphins in the water, I had no problem with getting in it. So.
Yeah, wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
But,
never
you
heard
know,
of a
if
dolphin attacking a human. So
No, not really. But if I lived in a place where, orcas come and things like that, I'm not getting in that water.
No.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if anybody's seen that video. I don't know. I think it's out on YouTube or somewhere in the mass media land, but it's a woman on a boat and the seal jumps on her boat, and next thing you know, she's got these orcas swimming around her.
Yep.
And she's telling that seal to get off the boat. I'm like, lady, move. Turn on the engine.
Start this thing and get me out of here.
It's kind of like, what is stopping you? Why are you telling it to get off? You move.
Yeah.
Get to shore. You're, like,
he wants off. He wants out of the way. Yeah.
The guy that does the voiceovers for the pets and stuff did a thing on that sea lion, and that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she's all worried about. She's got these. Start your engine, sweetheart. It's not going to hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets too close, well, oops. I mean, because if this thing jumps off and they go into a feeding frenzy over this stupid thing, it could topple your boat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you
need
take
to
your
move.
chances. I mean, and plus, I wouldn't want to get after that seal. It bites you. I'm not going after that thing either. So I would just say no. And well, yeah, Jojo says seals will jump on paddleboards. Yes, they will, and that is scary. If it jumped on my paddleboard, I might have to get it off of there.
Question is, if they jump on it, how big's the seal, first of all, and is it going to take the paddleboard down?
Depends on where you are.
Yeah.
So it would certainly take you down too. I would think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then whatever it was running from, you become the dinner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It threw you in the way. You're under the bus now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're part of the bus. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You're part of the
You
bus.
wouldn't be under it. You'd be in the bus.
You'd be in it, in the water, going down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The same thing out of otters too. Basic same thing. They know when to get up on a boat and get away from predators.
Mm-hmm.
The sea otters and such. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I guess you would have to be very careful out there. I mean, yeah. That's the only thing that I don't like in the ocean are sharks and eels. There's the other one. I don't like eels either.
There's plenty of stuff I don't like in the ocean.
Oh,
plenty.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had any problem out of the moray eels, I should say, and that's one that everybody freaks out about. Remember the movie The Deep?
Yes.
Moray eels coming out.
Yeah.
Well, they just look scary. They're not like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not overly. They are a little aggressive. Don't get me wrong, but if they're not in their little hole, and I learned this scuba diving out on Johnston Island. If they're not in their hole, doing the out and in thing like that, you could walk up, you can swim up to them and just kind of pet them. They don't try and attack you or anything like that. They just get back down to their area.
Well,
don't grab them, obviously, but you can actually run your hand on them.
No, that's like, oh, let's just go out and pet a rattlesnake. No, not going to do that either. Forget it, Randy.
No. Yeah, no, that one ain't going to happen.
No, thanks.
Yeah, jellyfish too. Those wouldn't be good.
No.
Jellyfish is a
bad thing. Yeah. You really have to watch out for them. And even when they wash up on the beach, you have to watch. Don't step on them either. They'll still get you.
Oh yeah. Hurt. Oh, hurt.
Yep, and exactly.
You can get peed on too for pee on them.
I mean, yeah, you can pee
well,
on
I mean, like,
too.
okay, like look at wolf eels. You know wolf eels?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I mean, they're like one of the most scariest looking creatures, but they're like friendly as puppies.
Yeah,
it's the funniest thing to watch.
They're very docile.
They're docile, and they'll like actually like interact with divers, and they're like so cute and curious, like the way they act. But if you look at them, let me pull up a picture. Actually, they're like the most messed up looking eels. Actually, they are technically not eels, but they're called wolf eels.
Yeah, they're a fish, but
yeah, they're technically a fish. But
I mean, I still wouldn't pet him.
That's the same thing. You might be able to reach out and pet him, but maybe you don't want to because pufferfish come up too, and you can pet them too. I ain't touching the sucker because there ain't no telling what's gonna happen.
As long as you don't get a hold of one of the spiked pufferfish, you're okay.
Yeah.
So for guys who are wondering, this is what a wolf eel looks like, and they're pretty big.
Looks like a turtle.
Yeah, they get like 6 feet long.
Yeah, scary as you know what.
I don't know why they would call that an eel. It's got fins.
Yeah, it's not an eel. It's just called an eel. It's just got a long body.
Because of the long body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But whenever you see, look up videos of like divers interacting with them, though, they're actually kind of cute.
Okay, well, we'll have to talk about it.
They're like friendly.
We're going to have to discuss your idea of cute, okay? First of all.
Yeah, well, I've got my own little definitions. You know that. I got my standards.
Yeah, that's what we need to talk about.
All right, Paul. What's your last one there?
We got one. Hang on. Frogman.
Oh. Frogman.
So, let me find it.
I've heard about this one. Yeah.
I've never heard of this one, actually. This is a first for me.
I've heard about it a little bit, but not much.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Let me get my thing up here. Where are you? So now these are about 3 to 4 feet tall. And where do they go? And they're more centered in like Ohio area. Are the reports that I've found are like in Loveland, Ohio. They're also called lizard man.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes more sense.
Yeah. These date back to the 50s, when a businessman claimed that he saw at least 3 bipedal frogs along the Miami River in Ohio. The driver was leaving the Branch Hill neighborhood in Ohio when he spotted 3 figures standing erect on their hind legs along the side of the road. Each figure stood about 3 to 4 feet tall and had leathery skin and frog faces. Really nothing about them damaging or hurting people or anything or attacking anybody.
They were just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. In 72, Loveland police officer reported an unidentified animal scurrying across the road in front of his patrol car. Said the creature was fully illuminated in the headlights and described it to be between 3 and 4 feet tall and around 50 to 75 pounds with leathery skin. He said he saw the creature crouch down like a frog before rising up on 2 legs and climb over the guardrail. Like that, I guess.
Well, I'm wondering again if they're saying, because we talk about the lizard man. I mean, I don't know if I would classify them both as the same. But the frogman, I don't know.
Well, here's the connection between the two in this next story. 2 weeks after this incident, a second officer reported seeing a similar creature in the road at about the same place the first officer saw it. But this time, the officer shot the animal, retrieved it, and put it in his trunk of his car to show the other officer. They claim that it was just as large as an iguana, but was missing its tail. And they think that it could have been someone's pet and it got too large and they released it.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you hear
So
about
they
that.
think it was just a really big iguana without a tail?
But an iguana is a really big difference from a frog. Well, maybe not.
Well,
I'm sorry. I got to entertain Ristel with this one. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. I saw him put that over there, and I about lost it.
What are those frogs called? The horned lizards or
horned frogs?
Horny toads.
They've got horns, just like that. The one in the middle there, that picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But they only about the size of your hand at the biggest. So.
And it says that the 1972 sighting sketch interpretation.
That is, wow. That's wild. You would think that something like this would be more in the swamplands.
Yeah.
Versus Ohio.
Yeah. And there's some other pictures that somebody found. Hang on a second. There was a video on it that I couldn't really get too well. It was like a 30-second video, and by the time I downloaded it on my phone, I could only get like 10 seconds of it.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
Yeah. Do I still have it on here?
But I mean, you're thinking. I
don't have it.
I wonder if they go into their hibernation mode, because I know frogs in where I live go into hibernation. Right now, I think it's the plague outside. It's the plague. It is. I'm just going to say it's the plague out there. And I know that when it cools down, they're going to start going into that hibernation mode into the ground. So I wonder if that's what they do, because, I mean, Ohio winters are pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't think there'd be anything cold-blooded amphibian like, during the time frame they're talking about, especially.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, is this environmentally possible for them? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
If it's a lizard or frog man, then
it's
warm blood there somewhere. Yeah,
it's possible.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I found that video. It's like 12 seconds long, but it has the pause and the stuff on the screen.
Okay.
There's red eyes. It's a really dark video, so you can only see red eyes, and there's really no sound. It's just sound of somebody breathing.
Okay.
So
I mean, how big are we talking about here?
that you can't really tell on that.
Yeah, because I mean that could be any frog eyes coming up when you're gigging frogs too. Honestly.
Yeah. There was another picture that I didn't pull up. That was where yet?
And I can't tell if it's him moving the camera that's causing the movement of the eyes, or
looked like it was moving the camera.
Yeah.
Here, hang on. Let me get this one. So this one, I think this might have been from the same image or same video.
That's from the same video?
Could have been.
Okay, that's water I'm looking at, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all water, and it's sticking out of the water.
Yeah, torso up and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't think that's more than a foot up out of the water.
And either way, I mean, you're talking about a frog. A frog does not do that.
No.
No.
I mean, could that be somebody with goggles on?
Yeah, it could be, but
and a wetsuit.
That kind of shine though, it's kind of tough to replicate with goggles.
It's hard to say.
Especially at that, I mean, it looks like it's probably
dusk,
late dusk.
Frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't look like nighttime. You know what I mean?
But whoever's taking this picture had a flash, because you see the trees in the foreground are lit up.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was.
Could have been reflecting the flash from the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just too tough to say.
Yeah.
Because that looks like, to me, what I see, it looks like a human torso.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see nothing that would equate to a frog in any way, shape, or form, other than the quote unquote eyes. But like you said, if he's got goggles on in some way, shape, or form, and a flash, there's a reflection. Boom, right there.
Now, the question I just came up with is, from this distance, I mean, I don't know how far it is, but it looks like it could be a good distance.
Yeah.
Would the eyes be that far apart, though?
I wouldn't have thought they'd been that far apart to start with, honestly.
Yeah, those don't look like eyes to me.
Yeah, they're kind of out on the side.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're wearing goggles, they're not going to be out that far.
No, they're not.
No.
And without it, like I said, without any kind of a actual sizing of some sort.
Well, yeah, and you gotta think you're an amphibian. Their eyes are on the side of the head.
Yep, they're gonna be wide like that.
Yeah, not looking directly forward.
Yeah,
that's tough to say. It really is.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm gonna say that's a not. I'm just gonna say that's a not. I mean, that is something that cannot be proved or disproved, and I wouldn't call that evidence. You know what I mean? It's just something that I couldn't call evidence, because you just it doesn't. To me, it doesn't seem like it would be a frog, because even with an alligator or anything like that, you don't.
I mean, it could be something
looking straight on. You have to look to the side to see the eye shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. And you don't see both eyes. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. But I wouldn't call that. I would call that's a reflection of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah, Ristle's right. I mean, eye shine doesn't reflect in water, Ristle, but when you're out gigging frogs or when you're out spotlighting and with gators and such, you're going to see the eye shine above the water. But it's just the eyes essentially is all you see.
Yeah,
above the
it's
water.
just above the water. Yeah, it's not standing up out of the water like that. But like I said, but you cannot see the eye shine if you're looking directly at it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to turn its head one way or the other for you to see the eye shine.
Hey, by the way, Randy, what is gigging frogs?
Okay, when you gig frogs, that's where you go out and catch frogs for frog legs. Okay,
Oh.
you're gonna go out to a pond or
people in
something.
Texas eat frog legs, really?
Oh, you dang right. I'll eat that sucker quicker than anything. I'm telling you right now.
Really? I thought that was a
Good
French
eating.
thing. I didn't know. I didn't realize.
Tastes
people
just
in
like
Texas eat
chicken.
that. It's good eating.
They do.
Tastes
great.
like chicken.
I'm telling you. Hey, don't say nothing. I know
It's a-
up in Rolla up there, they got a place there off of 44 that used to do Friday night all you could eat seafood buffets, and they had frog legs every Friday. I only know because I was there.
Are you kidding me? We have the Mississippi running through here, and we have a whole bunch of rivers and lakes.
You
And
know it.
yeah, you're going to be eating frog legs in Missouri for sure.
Oh,
You ain't
people.
gonna-
There's a lot of frog legs in Missouri, also. Oh, I thought that was
yeah.
a European thing.
No.
Huh.
Dude,
The meat
Rolla
market
is
I work at
located-
sells frog legs.
Yeah.
I can ship you some.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. I
I
didn't
can
realize
see
it was
calf
as
fries.
common.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can tell you some
Oh, you
calf
learn
fries,
something
you
new
see
every day.
frog legs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Donnie, I will tell you this. They have them at the Asian restaurants here.
Yeah, that's. I haven't heard of too many Asian people, or at least like in Korea or Japan, or I mean maybe in China. But yeah, in Korea and Japan they don't eat that. I guess frogs aren't as common over there. I guess
Maybe not.
that's
Are
probably
not
why.
the kinds of eating,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell you this. Like I said, we've got the plague going on here, and I could drive down the road because I leave very early in the morning, and I could drive down the road, and when they see the headlights of my car, they're come bouncing out on the road and actually hit my car.
Hmm.
The frogs?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're that dumb.
I
Yeah.
ran over one with a lawnmower a couple weeks ago.
You can run over all of mine. I will let you.
Yeah.
There's so many frogs. So of course I have toads and frogs, the tree frogs and all of that. So they're running all over the ground. They're sticking to the house. And like I said, I just now, which is odd, but I just now this year saw my first lizard here. The very first one, which we never had lizards out here, and this is my first year of seeing one. It wasn't small. It wasn't like a salamander. It was the full-on lizard, and
about like that long.
Yeah,
tree lizard.
We've had a few here, but they're pretty small. They're not too big.
Well, we had the big ones, but I've never had them out here. I don't know if it's because of where I live and the snakes and everything usually take care of that business, and I just don't see them or whatever.
Yeah.
But this year has been the year of the amphibian.
You
know,
I don't know. I've had a few of them outside. At least 5 of them that I've had to shoo away.
Well, I have had to put first. I tried to shoo them away, so I put salt out there because that is an irritant for frogs and their skin. That only works for a little while, and then when that washes away from the rain or whatever, I have to put it back out there. But then I found this new thing that I'm going to try this week. That is actually, if you put used coffee grounds out there in the soil, around where they congregate, and you just mix it up in the soil out there, that will create an irritant also. But you can't use too much because the coffee's acidic. You don't want to kill the grass and stuff, but it will actually deter them from the area because it's a mild irritant.
So you said the salt would keep the frogs away, right?
But it also eats away at everything else.
But I have a saltwater pool, and the frogs love going in there.
It depends on the ratio. I'm putting straight salt down.
Okay. I'm gonna load
So-
that thing up with salt then.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just putting straight salt out there.
Yeah.
So, that's what they're getting. But I mean, it depends on the salt ratio. If it's just mild, in which it probably is, because if it doesn't burn your eyes, it's not going to burn the frog really. So, yeah. So then I did that, and then I was working on because I don't want to hurt the environment when I'm out there, but I need to kill off the bugs to keep the frogs away. It's just a constant battle I'm dealing with. So I've been using peppermint oil, and that seems to work for a little while, keeping them bugs away. Because mosquitoes and all that, they don't like peppermint, that strong smell of peppermint oil. So they will stay away to a point. And that kind of keeps the frogs away. But again, once that washes away, here comes the frogs again. I'm like,
get some peppermint plants. Peppermint plants.
Yeah, get the peppermint plants.
Yeah.
I used peppermint.
Well,
used to use peppermint.
what they like to do is they like to get up on the steps to the back porch and get on the steps, which the peppermint plants aren't going to help a bit. And then they stick all to my door and everything, the one we use all the time. And it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You open a door and there's frogs. So, I mean, like I said, it's just a horrible thing. So I get it because I leave the lights on outside. I'm wondering if I shut them off, would that help keep them away? But then I don't like not having security lights out.
Yeah.
So I guess you just have to figure it out. I've looked at everything, and I think coffee grounds is my next thing.
Oh, so you right? You would caffeine.
Something.
Use coffee grounds, right? Not the.
Yeah.
Yes, use coffee grounds.
Right. Okay, let's say if you're wasting coffee grounds, we're gonna have to.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Gosh, no, that stuff is too expensive. Coffee, no, I'm
not worried about it. I'm worried about black gold being wasted. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I mean. It's my lifeline and my phone a friend.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. No. I would never waste it on
I can't live without coffee. Nope. Ain't happening.
Okay. No. Do I get to play today or not?
It's your turn.
Go for it.
It's your turn. Let's go.
Because we're going West Virginia with this one.
Oh, wait a minute. I got one more.
Okay. West Virginia? Is that what you said?
West Virginia. We're going West Virginia.
I thought you said West Virginia.
I did. West Virginia.
Okay.
All right. So, this is going to be an interesting one here. Guess what we have right here? This is an artist rendering. I will bring up one here in a few minutes, though. That is no longer an artist rendering. This is the Grafton monster from Grafton, West Virginia. You'll probably be surprised to hear that the only reason it's ever been heard of in any way, shape, or form, really, other than in and around Grafton, West Virginia, was on Mountain Monsters.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is why I don't have any real video, because there are 2 videos that were actually on the show at one point that depicted, and of course, you know how they always were. You got the laptop on the tailgate, and they're all trying to video over the top of each other, to look at the video. You can see something on the video, you can see something on the other video, but we can't see it at all for whatever reason. So now I sit there and go, okay, I got to question this, because this thing has a legend of not even having a head, or no discernible head. This thing has nothing but mass. I have found another picture right here. This kind of was a drawing too. I immediately thought, when they started talking about the skin and everything, hey, we got a troll.
Yeah,
it's a troll. It's got to be what it is. But one of the things noticed about it, it has this deep, low pitch bellow that literally vibrates you and everything around its call for miles, the way I understand it.
So infrasound.
Kind of, but you could actually hear it too. If you're somewhere close to it, or somewhere within a general vicinity, I'm saying in about a 300-400 yard area, or I can't remember what they said on the show, but they were hearing it, and it was about a mile away, quote unquote. Now, this is a show. I'm not saying it's real, but the rumor is that this thing has it's not really emperor, because emperor, you feel more than you hear, but it's so low pitch and so low, so deep that it just, so I don't know about infrasound side of it or not, but it kind of sounds like it, but you can physically hear it as well. You know what I mean? This is what has been said. So, the first sighting that they know of was in '64 by a guy named Robert Cockrell. Got off work at a local newspaper publication, Grafton Sentinel, and at 11 p.m. went home. Drove down one of the avenues there. I'm not going to name the names of it, and it's off of the Tigert River. This is all in the Tigert Valley area of West Virginia. Okay, he turned around a curve and saw this thing, describing it as a huge white obstruction with slick white skin and no head. He rushed home and told everybody he was terrified to the point that they had to, kind of settle him down. They went back to where it was at, and the grass was trampled down, which could be obviously any one of 100 things. But when they got there, they also heard that low infrasound style noise that we were talking about. Now, the only thing outside of these two these two pictures that I just showed right there that I could actually say was, how can I put it? That was a picture, okay? And I had to go out and find this. I had to find this, and I barely found it. I had to blur a little bit of it out because it had a certain network's name on it and everything. So it's just a picture, and that's all it is from a trail cam.
Okay.
And this is what it looked like. This thing is estimated. A little bit to that? What's that? Yep. Where do you want to go? Right?
Yeah.
This thing is supposedly anywhere from 8 to 12 feet tall, and it's so massive that it's footprints that obviously we don't have any actual castings of that I've ever even heard of. The footprints are just one big circle or a big mass, almost like an elephant print type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so heavy, they're estimated to be 800-900 pounds.
Wow.
I don't know anything because I'd never heard of it until obviously seeing it on the show. Never heard of it.
First for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. And this is obviously, this part right here is blurred a little bit, but as you can see, what I'm seeing here though looks like it's got some sort of hair though.
Yeah.
It does have hair.
Yeah. Lots of it.
Exactly. So I don't know if this is what they physically caught or not, but the way they described it and the descriptions happen, that doesn't describe what I'm seeing here, but this is supposedly what this thing is.
It does look like a head and a mouth on the right side there.
Yeah, it does. So I don't know. Maybe this guy that described it first, because we've only got a handful of sightings, and like I said, all of them are from this Tigert Valley area, and supposedly the Tigert Valley, there's a farmer there named Terry who actually captured the video that I was talking about. Once again, they never actually put the video itself on the screen. It was always, a picture of a picture type thing where they're, looking over the shoulders and such. Now, there was an explanation at one point. The Grafton a teenager interviewed suggested the Grafton monster may have been an escaped polar bear. Now, I don't know where an escaped polar bear would get to in West Virginia, especially in the Tigert Valley. I don't know of any actual zoos in that area. So it's not exactly somebody's going to keep a polar bear as a pet, you wouldn't think, right?
Yeah.
And they're also claiming, a lot of these things people are they're kind of personifying in their imagination. You know what I mean? This is a manifestation of their
embellishing.
Their overactive imagination, especially with the one from '64, because he didn't have anything, but he was scared. He was literally scared to death.
Right.
The guy actually later contacted paranormal author Gray Barker, who wrote the Tales of the Mothman. So now you've got him talking to that guy, and now you got people actually saying something. It's an alien visitor from another planet. It's an interdimensional traveler, and that's when I threw my hands up and said, "Okay, I'm walking away."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because looking at it, you can't tell what it is.
No.
Again,
cannot.
Randy, we talk about this every Sunday on Truth or Tinfoil. If you do not have something that is clear and evident of what the thing is, you're going to have people out there just like us with this one going, I can't tell you if that's real or fake. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
And of course, with copyright rules and stuff like that, I cannot go out and get the videos that were out there.
Right.
They're the only place you find them is part of that show. If they are out there anywhere else, I don't know where it's at. I'm with Ricky. If I see something like that, I'm running away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
pulling that down. But see, the thing that got me was that monster got a lot of folklore based on that show. And it got a lot of notice in different areas. They actually did a documentary later on without the mountain monsters, the way that literally they weren't involved in it. None of the videos were there. All was there was the eyewitness accounts.
Right.
So,
okay. So somebody had said earlier that they have the Grafton Monster Festival every year. Kind of like they have the Mothman Festival every year.
Exactly. And
are we leaning?
Monster.
Right. Are we leaning again towards
sensationalizing it?
Well, in folklore,
Oh, it's just this year for the 60th anniversary, which makes sense. Yeah. This will be the 60th anniversary of that sighting. That first sighting. So now if Ron Porch there could tell us, anything about it. I mean, maybe he's in the area. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know much about it. Like I said, before, the evidence isn't pointing to the direction that this thing is.
No,
the Grafton monster. It could be a bear. It could be
anything.
It could be a Sasquatch. We don't know.
It could be.
We don't know. And that's the thing is this with that. I mean, to try and see the video, maybe we need to look into that and come to our own conclusions about what we think it is, because we can watch the videos for ourselves. We can show them here.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what I tried to find it today, and like I said, everywhere I ran into it, I was not going to take the chance on copyright infringements in any way, shape, or form. So just wasn't going to do it. So.
Well, I guess that's what we're going to have to do, everybody.
Yeah.
I guess it's up to everybody what you think about these things. We can only tell you our own opinions. Nobody's an expert. So, hey, let's just talk about it and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Let's just see what happens.
That's all we can do. So.
But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're at the end of our show, and
we forgot one bit.
Got one bit, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
I got you.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, you got it.
Hurry up.
Gotta play that.
Okay.
Oh, look out! Here we go.
Donnie Cho, meme of the week.
It never gets old.
It
will never get old.
Nope.
In my pajamas.
100 episodes in, we'll play that again, and then as soon as it stops, we'll be like, that never gets old.
We'll just make a new one every year.
Okay. So speaking of
in 20 years from now, we'll still be playing that.
Speaking of new and unknown cryptids, I have a new cryptid to introduce to you guys. I think this one will shock and astonish you as well. I like to call it. Wait, let me find it. It is called. Okay, so we've had a lot of these cryptids, right? It's something man, right? Like dog man, goat man, frog man, right? Mothman.
Right. Something man.
Why is it always ended man?
Because it's humanoid.
It's like an animal like thing, but with a human's body.
Okay.
Yeah, a humanoid looking thing.
It's bipedal, bipedal.
Yeah.
So there's another cryptid I would like to inform you guys of, and that is the one known as Penguin Man. Now, Penguin Man is a particular interesting cryptid because this Penguin Man looks like, on the top, it looks like a regular man, but you'll notice that the legs are just unusually short, like the body's extra long. Legs are unusually short. People have reported sightings of this creature known as the Penguin Man in places like Walmart at like after 10 p.m. Certain people have claimed to have sightings of the penguin man at like gas stations, usually around 2 a.m. when you go in like middle of the night to get a pack of cigarettes or something. Yes, half man, half penguin is why they're known as the Penguin Man. So
you know what? So if you're ever out there, ladies and gentlemen, and you're telling this young man, "Hey, pull up your pants,"
He can't.
and he turns around and says, "They are," you've seen a cryptid.
There you go.
Seen a cryptid.
don't try to pull those pants up. You'll give Penguin Man a wedgie.
A wedgie.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that is probably that's a good one, Donnie. I like that one.
That was a good one.
Penguin Man. I like
Penguin Man.
it.
I thought it was cute. I think Penguin Man's kind of cute actually.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's
I'm pretty
like
sure
one of the
everybody's
cuter
cryptid
cryptid
now.
of the cryptids. We could say it's the cuter ones. Penguin Man.
Yeah, Penguin Man is pretty cute. I like
Yeah.
it.
Although my vote for the cutest cryptid is probably Puppy Boy, which is Baby Dog Man.
Yeah.
Baby Dog Man would be like the cutest thing ever. Puppy Boy.
Right.
Could you imagine?
Right.
It's like running around with like a baby's body, but then it's got the head of a puppy.
Yeah.
Come on, man, get out of here. That would be the
Happy
cutest
ears.
thing in the universe.
Have you ever seen the one that Martin Groves uses, like when he's in like chatter on Facebook or something?
Yeah.
It's a little puppy dog man barking at the moon. It's just a puppy, and it's so cute. I was like, that's what it sounded like to me. We need to have somebody make these toys for us in real life so we can have these little stuffed animals. You know what I'm saying? And then we can make a bunch of them, and then we can sell them.
We should make cryptid stuffed animals. That should be a whole line.
We could sell them.
Those would sell. Those would sell. I think those would sell.
Yeah, I mean, Bigfoot. Yeah, we don't even have to have Bigfoot. We could have like Baby Frog Boy or something. Yeah.
Bigfoot air freshener.
Bigfoot air freshener. Somebody's already done that. We can't do that, but we can do like
a Bigfoot plushie.
Yeah. The cryptid plushies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to do that.
I got 2 Bigfoot and 1 Yeti Christmas ornaments for my trees. And then
we can do Christmas ornaments. There's another one.
There you go.
But don't forget Bumbles. Bumbles bounce. Just remember that.
Bumbles bounce, and Bumble is my favorite.
Yep.
Well, hang on. Oh, I'm trying to reach, and it's really far. But I mean, everybody's got one.
No, I don't have one of those.
I don't have one of those.
You don't have one of these. They're fun.
I think your obsession has gone a little bit overboard there. I think we probably need to do an intervention about right now.
Look at its feet. But they're cute. Do you see where this would be marketable? You just do cryptid plushies, though. The plushies. The squeezy ones. They would be nice. But anyway, we'll talk about that at another time. But for now, we're going to tell everybody, join us next week at 7 p.m. Central for the next installment of Paranormal Show and Tell. Let me see. What's tomorrow? Thursday? We've got Bigfoot brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob at noon Central, and of course, Blondes and Booze at 7 or 8 p.m. Central tomorrow evening. We're going to have on the Kling Brothers. It's going to be a great show, so tune in for that. Friday night, of course, Blondes Booze again. Saturday. Now this is where we get into everybody else. Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. Paul, and tell us about what you got going on this week.
Saturday, I think we're going to be talking about the Brumley investigation that we're doing Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see all of that.
Yeah.
To see all the evidence, because that's my favorite part of everything.
Yeah.
And then
it kind of depends on if I have time coming home Saturday, if I'm awake or not. So
we'll see. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
What about you, Donnie? What's on on the agenda for Donnie Cho Says Stuff?
So my show's Saturday as well after Paul's. You go on 7 o'clock Central. I'm at 8:30 Central. I don't know. I always go out of Eastern time, so I get confused. 9:30 Eastern. I don't have anything planned. I don't know. I'm juggling ideas.
Maybe
But
maybe you need to do like the fight against the whale and the megalodon and the whole who would win business. You know what I'm saying? You know, you need
I
to know
don't know.
who.
We'll see.
But
I've got some ideas cooking. Well, I mean, if I run out of ideas, I usually just do what I usually do: get drunk, go on live, and make a fool of myself.
that's always entertainment. Anyway,
Yeah, that's always the backup plan, guys. Always the backup plan.
such a piece of crazy. All right, so but on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central, it is Truth or Tinfoil with myself and Randy over there. What do we got on tap, Randy?
I have, I hit the mother load on some good stuff this week. Actually, I got about enough pictures to do about 2 episodes. Really, I'm going to try and keep us in England again this week, and I've got a couple from Australia as well. So we'll
Awesome.
see how it works out. So,
are you guys going to do the whole show in the English accents?
I might. You never can tell.
Bloody hell!
I'm not doing it.
Well, you off it, by you wanker.
I can't do
Okay.
British accent.
Before
I
we
could do.
get going, everybody, we will do this after the show. I promise. All the bad accents after the
You
show.
ass.
So, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Forgot.